Order, please, if you would stand for the pledge and the prayer. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michael P., would you pray us in, please?
Let's bow for prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us individually and collectively. We ask, God, that you bless this meeting. Let everything that we do be pleasing in your sight. Let everything that be said be to edify your kingdom. We ask, God, that you continue to bless us throughout this meeting and as we leave this place. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I'd like to welcome all visitors tonight to our meeting. Roll call.
Brent,
Here.
Michael Pierce,
Here.
Michael Ford,
Here.
Denise,
Here.
Renee,
Here.
Trey.
Here. Approved minutes of July board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second it.
Motion by Michael Ford, second by Renee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approved June financial reports.
Hey, y'all ain't got no microphone? There you go.
1, 2.
Sorry.
That's all they can hear.
This is July.
These were given to y'all last month, the night of the meeting, you just didn't approve them, so y'all would have time to review.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve June financial reports?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Motion by Bruce, second by Ms. Denise. Roll call.
Michael Pierce,
Yes.
Michael Ford,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Trey.
Yes.
Motion carried. Approved bills to be paid.
This grant money of $300,000, that is what we owed on our part, or is that
That's
will be
the-
paid back to us?
That's the total payment. Out of that, we received $299,000 out of the ARPA funds for that. It's part of the completion of the water plant.
Okay.
So the $30,000 was paid out of the COVID funds that were set aside for this project. And the other funds that we've paid prior to this, anything that's been done at the water plant or the sewer has been, our match has come out of those funds.
Okay.
Is that past this one?
And all the
Sorry, pass through.
retrofit was what you,
Because we had the meeting so
Meeting.
late in the month, I just had to pay bills that were due before the meeting.
okay.
I'll make a motion. Okay.
Motion by Ms. Renee,
Second.
second by Trey. Roll call.
Bruce,
Yes.
Michael Pierce,
Yes.
Michael Ford,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion passed. All right, old business. A lot of discussion on our recent water rate increase. We have Mr. Robert Kelly with us tonight. He's going to go back through his presentation and explain why we're where we're at, where we are now. Mr. Robert.
Somebody hit the lights so we can all see. Do I need a microphone?
No.
Yes? Yeah, I don't need a microphone. I can talk pretty loud. Mr. Mayor, Board, thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be in Ridgely's. Thank you very much for having me here. What we're going to discuss tonight is the water and the wastewater rate increase that was performed earlier this year. It was passed by the board several months ago. And so the floor is not really open for discussion about changing the amendment or the resolution that they passed. The floor is open for discussion about how and why we did what we did. My name is Robert Kelly. This is my contact information. Please feel free to call me at any time. I'm the Tennessee State Coordinator for Community Infrastructure. I work with the Rural Communities Assistance Partnership, which is a national nonprofit out of Washington, D.C. I am the State Coordinator for Tennessee. Here's my email address. Feel free to contact me. That's my phone number. You can reach me at any time. The QR code at the top is a little bit about my organization, what we do for small, rural, underprivileged water and wastewater systems. And then, of course, our podcast. You can go on there and get up-to-date information about what we do, talk about water and wastewater projects in small, undeveloped, community water and wastewater systems. That's what we work with. We work with communities that are 10,000 or less all across the state of Tennessee. So let's jump right into it. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the water rate study, and then we're going to go right into the wastewater rate study. And if you have any questions, the way we'll do it is we'll talk about water first, and then we will talk about wastewater. That's how we'll do it. So after I talk about water, we'll stop, we'll have a discussion about it. Any questions you have, I will answer them, but I'm going to answer them truthfully, honestly, directly, whether you like the answer or not. It's my responsibility as a public servant to give you an honest-to-God, truthful answer. I do not work for the state of Tennessee. I do not work for the government. I am paid for by a grant from the Office of Community Services, Health and Human Performance. For this grant, I've worked with Ridgely in the past, paid for by a grant from the Environmental Protection Agency and the United States Department of Agriculture. I got involved with Ridgely because Ridgely came up in front of the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation. And what that is a board that regulates all water and wastewater systems in the state of Tennessee. Reason being is because Ridgely was in negative net deficiency for 2 or more years. Can everybody see? If you need to situate yourself to where you can see, we're going to break this down piece by piece. I know that there are a lot of questions, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. Okay? Please feel free to answer or ask any question, but I'm going to give you the upfront answer, right? So that's why I became involved with Ridgely. We mapped the system from a grant. We also started to perform the asset management plan, filed for a FEMA grant to get emergency generators for the system. In doing so, what I do is I always look at the system's audits, right? And this is public knowledge, your audits. How many people here look at your audits? You look at your audits? How many else? To see your audits, you can go to tencomptroller.gov and type in Ridgely. And type in Ridgely Audit 2025. It will pop up every single audit that Ridgely has ever given to the state of Tennessee. They are required annually to turn in a fiscal audit every single year. I encourage you to start looking at your audits every single year, because had you been doing so, you would have seen the position that you were in and why we had to do what we did, what this board did. I will say we a lot. I'm not a representative of Ridgely, but I work with Ridgely, so I'll say we. But I am not a representative of Ridgely. Ridgely does not pay me $1 for this. You pay me. I have your tax dollars at work. Okay? The water system. We're going to break this down piece by piece, so ask questions. Save your questions and we'll all get to them. This is the year 2026 with the inflation rate of 3.3%. The revenue was $403,437. That was the revenue. These are all the expenses that the water system incurred. I'm sorry if you can't see that. Please move forward at this time so you can see that. This is a breakdown of all of the way that you are billed. 3/4 inch rule in town, 1 inch in town, 1 inch out of town, 1.5 inch in town, 2 inch in town, 2 inch out of town, and a 3 inch in town. And you'll notice here that there's a number of breakdowns, right? Your base fee, that's what you pay for the water, and then there's a volumetric fee per 1,000 gallons, and what each additional 1,000 gallons will cost you. That's called the volumetric rate. Everything here is based on the state's minimum requirement for an operating ratio. All right? Every water and wastewater system in the state of Tennessee is required to carry a minimum operating ratio by the Tennessee State Comptroller's Office of 1.1. Remember that. What the operating ratio is very simple mathematics. It's the change, or delta, or divided, the expenses over revenue. It's as simple as that. It's simple mathematics. You can do it yourself. How much are we expending and how much are we bringing in is basically what it is. We must maintain a 1.1. Okay? This is the budget projection with all of the expenditures. You can see that a little bit easier. Can you see that? A little bit easier? Down here on the bottom is what our current operating ratio is. Here, 1.01. This is a 5-year, 2026, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. In 31, we have a 0.86 operating ratio, which is well below the state's minimum requirement, right? The water's the good side here. The water was in very good shape. And it only required a 14% increase to reach the state's minimum 1.10 by 2031. Notice, we are choosing option C. Option C is the option that your board chose. That is the only option that would have gotten you to a 1.10 in 2031. It required a 14% increase to each one of your individual rate structures, both base fee and volumetrically, to achieve that minimum requirement, right? We had 3 ways we could have done that. We could have either changed only the base rate, which is this number here, keeping the volumetric rate the same per 1,000 across the board. The base rate would have only been effective at 14%. Or option B, we could have changed just the volumetric rate. leaving the base rate the same across the board and changing the volumetric rate across the board to equal 14%. We chose option C. Option C changed the base rate by 7% and the volumetric rate by 7% to equal 14%. So, your rates increased from $17.51 to $21.60, from $26.79 to $31.13, 7% across the board. Volumetrically, from $3.66 to $4.55. That's 7% for each across the board to obtain a 1.1 by 2030. That's what it took. Are there any questions?
Why did we go 20% instead of 14?
Because it would have raised the rates. We don't need to raise the rates tremendously. All we need to do is achieve a 1.1. Good question. If we had something to what we needed to change, if we had a future project, if we're projecting ahead, and we have to, right? We did an asset management plan. In that asset management plan, they had to prioritize a need. If there was a need that required us to make a bigger rate increase to get to a 1.1, we would have. Yes, ma'am. Quite possibly.
If you deal year by year, why could you not take this 20%, say 5 years, you would have to have another increase for 5 years?
Yes, we will not have to have a rate
Why
increase
couldn't
in
you just
the
go 40, commit me to go 40?
Okay, so the reason being is because we would have been under a 1.1 for 4 years. We had to get to the state's minimum requirement.
So
We
with
had to
the
obtain the state's minimum requirement.
20% is going to take 5 years to get to the state's
It's
requirement.
14%.
No, we're 20%.
It's 14%. It's 14%. Right? The water increase, the water increase is 14%.
I'm sorry, 14 or 20%?
14% there. Okay, so the reason why is perhaps, which one of these do you fall under now?
I'm getting the city.
So you're 3/4 inch city, right? This is you right here, $23.39 and $3.66 for each additional 1,000. Right?
Okay, do they charge you for the first 1,000? Do you not start with 0?
The base fee is for the first 1,000 gallons.
Could they not have dropped that to pay for every gallon that's used? I know.
If you would have done that, you'd be paying a lot more than you're paying now. Excuse me. You're paying a lot more than you'd be paying now. If you're going to pay for each, if you want to pay it like that, you would be paying a lot more than what you would be paying.
So some of this should have been done.
That's a good question.
There was an agreement with the water board to raise the
Excuse my friend.
Yes.
Does she need, do they need the microphone?
Yes.
No.
Because
Yes.
these people over here can't hear what they're talking about.
Yes. Can everybody hear her?
No,
No.
no, she needs
The
to.
city made an agreement with the water board that they would raise the rate of the water each year 2%. And we did that for several years, and we never received any kind of letter threatening us with the state coming in. And why now?
That's a very good question.
I wanted to do $102 in
2018.
Yes, ma'am.
2018.
I understand that. And I'm sympathetic.
We've been under an
towards that.
order since
The reason-
2018.
Been under order since 20.
Under different orders through the state.
I've got my.
Hi, Mr. Robert, we've been under different orders since 2018 on the rates.
the license is $70-something.
The reason why is because it was insufficient. The changes that were being made were not being made to get you to a 1.1. That's the gist of it. You were not making the minimum states requirement every single year. So call it what you call it. But the water system was not meeting the minimum requirement per year.
Mr. Robert, I think the deal is the 2% is just keeping the state off the back.
Was the first year that you already.
What happened was that this 2% was not done for one of the years, and it drew attention to the water boards. They immediately jumped on top of it, which is what they do.
0%.
Mr. Brenda, that is not true. I mean, 46 cents,
Now, you know,
46 cents in the scheme of being behind $4.35 is not getting you.
we raised it 2% each year, and the first year y'all did not raise it, and that immediately drew attention to it not being raised, and you weren't meeting our obligation.
No, ma'am, that's not correct.
It is shame.
In your eyes,
You can say what you want to, but it is true.
let's move on.
But one
Well,
year,
this 20% increase is more than we can afford, especially with the sewer. Now, I wouldn't mind the water, but the sewer is asinine.
Okay, let me ask this question, the same question I asked in our last meeting. We make our gallon of water the same price as Tiptonville. Why is there a
Don't talk about Tiptonville, this is Ridgely.
I understand that, but y'all didn't do your due diligence, in my opinion. That's Shane's opinion. I can't speak for everybody.
Well, then don't.
I will give you.
I told you what Shane did, and you need to watch your mouth, or you'll be gone.
You better good at that, aren't you?
I sure am.
Now,
Okay.
I will give you an honest to God answer. This is as honest as it can be. I do not represent this board. I don't care what they think of me or what.
I know.
Changes were not made that needed to be made way in the past. Way in the past, or you would not be in the situation that you're in. A 2% increase every single year, that's not even the price of inflation. Let's go back 4 years. Let's go back 4 years. Inflation raised 11%, and you're only charging 2% increase. The rate should have increased as inflation increased, no matter who the board was. Whether you were the mayor, or you were the mayor, or you were the mayor. Okay? The rates were not increased at the rate they needed to be increased.
We try to accommodate, this is a very low.
are you paying the same thing for gas 15 years ago?
We're not gonna run this fight, so just let
I said, do you want to pay the water bill, or do you want to eat, or get your medicine? This is a poor county.
I understand it's a poor county, but this has nothing to do with people's feelings. This has nothing to do with people's emotions.
It has to do with their pocketbook.
This has everything to do with mathematics.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, it shouldn't have been such a big jump.
What are you paying for gas
It
now
was a
versus
big
what you were
jump.
paying?
And I'm just going to say, it was a big jump because it had been neglected in the past.
If they were satisfied with it, they want to.
It's as simple as saying that.
Mr. Robert, just 1 second. So just Brenda, to answer your question, that spreadsheet I just gave you, there's 6 years that nothing was ever done. So can you explain that? Because you was on the board then.
I'll go to this
We
spreadsheet.
raised the water bill.
No, not from 2011, 12, to like 2017, 18. So explain that.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that.
We were considering our citizens.
Let's spend
Yeah, that's not where we're at now.
Let's just look at that. Calm it down. Calm it down. Let's spend some time and let's put our heads together and let's look at this logically, rationally, right? With an open mind. This is the rate breakdown over the course of the last decade. Right? This is water. This is water. This is sewer. This is the percent of increase. This is our operating revenues. And this is our operating expenses. I want you to pay close attention to why we got to where we got to where we got. Here, It was because of what happened here, and here, and here. I don't know who the mayor was there, right? Don't care. But as you can see, this is a breakdown, an annual breakdown of charges, volumetric, charge, volumetric, percent of increase, okay? And our revenue. For 3 years, from 2022 to 2025, you were in negative net deficiency. This money right here is not revenue. This is grant money. That's not what you made, that's what someone gave you. Whether it was the state, the SRF, the CDBG, right, Community Development Block Grant, the United States Department of Agriculture, someone gave you a grant. That's not revenue you made.
Nope.
You lost revenue. You were in negative net deficiency. You were hemorrhaging money. Right there. Right here.
And Mr. Robert, that was on the 2% increase.
So, you were raising your rate at 2%. Did you do a rate study?
Still operating.
No.
No.
You just raised your rates by 2%. A rate study was not performed. What should have been done was a qualified professional should have looked at the audits and done a rate analysis based on the operating ratio and raised the rates accordingly, right? 2% isn't even the rate of inflation. There's no excuse for that. 2% isn't even the rate of inflation. There were years here where there was 0%.
Yeah. Quite a few.
Going back to 2011. Whoever was your board and mayor in 2011, quite frankly, wasn't doing their due diligence. I don't know who that was. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just giving you factual, actual, historical data. That's what this is. Actual historical data is what we're going off of. Right? I know people are poor. Heck, I'm poor. I'm a public servant. I'm probably the poorest person in the room. Yeah, you're right? So, that is why we made the water increase that we made, because for these years, we weren't even raising the rate at the rate of inflation. That's why we got to the position that we got. Any other questions?
Yeah, we still at the end of the road, like she's trying to say. This is 40 county.
I understand
A
that.
lot of people not going to be able to afford it.
I understand that. This is a poor county. You're exactly right.
You at the end of the road, it wasn't good up, you know.
It doesn't matter who sits in that chair. It doesn't matter who sits on that board. This is going to happen whether you like it or not. But the state's going to take over, right? Had we not done nothing now, the state would have taken over. Good question. What would they have done? What would they have done? The state would have taken over your complete books. What they would have done was they would have subpoenaed every single person on that board to appear before the Tennessee Bureau Board of Utility Regulations. And in doing so, they would have had to answer for it. Okay? What would have happened is the comptroller's office would have took over their business and raised the rates at the rate they thought it should have been raised. Right? That's what they would have done. They would have taken over your water system and raised the rates for you. This board was proactive and raised the rates accordingly so they would not go before the board. The board is a regulatory agency that has the power to subpoena They have the power to merge. This water system would have merged with Tiptonville's water system, whether you like it or not. And you'll be paying Tiptonville's water and wastewater rates. Do you think that's true, Jim?
Yes, sir. Guys, I can tell you this, and you can go down the road in Gates, Tennessee is a prime example. They buy their water from Halls. And any time, under any circumstances, you keep your water plant and your sewer plant. When you move that to another town, you're still going to take care of your lift stations, your water lines, your sewer lines, but you're going to pay their rates. They're going to have the authority over to you. You're going to have to go to them if you've got a factory or a subdivision. You're going to go ask their permission for something to be built in your town. So you cannot it's not an option. If you want your town to die, you get rid of your water and your sewer and let the state take it over. I've got an example that happened just today. I had a lift station go down for one of my clients. They've known about this lift station for 10 years. It's put in 1974. It's done went through 2 life cycles. And I've never had a city recorder tell me, we don't have any money. We can't borrow any money. Well, guess what I had to put up with this morning? The state showed up at 9 a.m. They didn't ask them if they had money, but they did tell them it's going to be fixed. So they had to scramble. They had to come up with the money on it. They are very limited in what they can do. I know you elect them. They're people of your community. Y'all live here your whole life. But they've only got this much power when it comes to the state of Tennessee. That's the way the system is set up. And listen, I always tell my boys, my employees, when we need something, we don't come to the board and ask for wants. We ask for needs. But we always look towards the one on the fixed income. I act like any contract I have that my grandmother is paying a water and sewer bill, which I'm the new kid on the block here. Things are in horrible shape, but they done you a favor by raising these rates, because if the state steps in, that 14%, I guarantee you, would have probably been 20% or more, because they don't care. They're not going to have egg on their face. But if you do not keep up with inflation and keep your rates up, you know, I don't agree with a lot of things the state does. But they've got to comply with the rules. Those are the rules and the regulations of this. And you don't want another town to take over your system. Because when you do, you're going to have exactly in your town whoever takes over your system. Water and sewer is key. They're going to decide how much you build, what factories come in, and what your rates are. You're going to be paying their rates, but then you still got expenses keeping up your water lines, your sewer lines, your lift stations. They're not going to take that over. They're just going to sell you water at their price. You're not going to have any say in their water rates. All you are is another customer. And I sympathize with anybody. My water bill went up. I live by myself. My water bill runs me about $60 a month just for water. I live in the country, in Gibson County. And I understand this is a poor community, a poor county, probably one of the poorest ones I do work in. But the state don't care. They honestly do not care. The rules are set forth, and they expect you to abide by them, just like Memphis or Nashville has to abide by them. And they could care less about how much the average income here is. And I hate, that's not me, because I do care. I care about everybody. But the state, when you get into these regulations, they're set forth and you're going to abide by them one way or the other. It don't make any difference. Next election, you replace everyone on this board, this mayor, they're going to be held to the same regulations and same standards.
Let me just make a comment. There's a new mayor here. There's an old mayor here. The primary role of this board is not to govern you. The primary role of this board is to provide you with clean drinking water. That is their number one role. not to govern you, not anything else. They can sit up there and make decisions all they want. Their primary role is to provide you with clean drinking water and clean, safe wastewater that can be returned back into the natural environment. That's it. That's their role. It's not to make a budget. It's not to increase taxes or anything like that. Their primary role is making you drinkable, safe water. That's every mayor's role. That's every mayor's responsibility. At a fair rate that's going to keep them in the positive. Right?
In other words, water needs to make money.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Water has to be profitable. This is not a nonprofit. Right? It takes money to run this system. It takes money to provide you water. It takes money to get your wastewater into a facility to be treated and then returned into the natural environment. Right? How many people here have seen your water's treatment plant? Go look at it. Get with Jim Cooper. Go look at it. You're going to need improvements in the near future. A lot of your assets have reached the end of their life. It's the role of an old board and a new board to prepare for those assets replacements. In the past, that was not done. It is as simple and as truthful as that. That's the long end and the short end of it. By making this increase, we will gain our revenue 27.3%, right? We would have gained an annual revenue of $110,037, making our gross $513,474. If you can remember, our revenue was only $403. You do the math. Now we will have $513,447. $110,037 annually. That keeps us out of all those red boxes we just saw from being into negative net deficiency for 3 years. I guarantee you, if you'd been in negative net deficiency this year, it'd been over. Right? Absolutely, unequivocally. Not because of this board, but because of every single board going back 2 decades.
Thank you.
Math don't lie. Audits don't lie. Is there any other questions?
Hey, Don, what happened to the deal 6 or 8 months ago with losing all that? What ever did?
Well, we corrected a lot of it, but we got leaks right now. And, the system's old, and there are gonna be leaks here, but they're correcting a lot of it, and the waters went down. I was there, I don't was there for 2 years. Anyway, that's too long. But anyway, we've got a whole system here, we know that.
Yes.
Let's do it, we're in now.
Yes.
You're right. There's going to take money to revive and get it to where it's going to be in good shape. It's going to take a lot of money.
It is.
Then why are y'all
It's
fussing?
going to take a lot of money.
Robert,
This gives us
one more thing,
additional-
Robert.
This gives us the money to do that.
One more thing. Y'all need to recognize, and you're not the only town, every town that I deal with in West Tennessee, for the exception of Memphis, Nashville, the bigger towns that have got the mega bucks, every small town, this water and sewer system was put in, some of them 100 years ago. It was never designed to last as long as what it is. And y'all live down here in Lake County, the ground moves a lot down here, which affects your water lines and your sewer lines. And your sewer system's in horrible shape. But you're going through something that every small town in West Tennessee is going through. It was not designed to last. Most of it was put in the 50s and 60s. It was not designed to last that long. It's due for an upgrade. And now we're in here, 2026, you know, it costs you, if I had to put a pencil to it, 20-30% or 20 to 30 times more than what was put in back in the 50s and 60s. It's just inflation. But you need to keep that in mind. You know, there's things that come up that are emergencies that I assume that y'all will want fixed. We can't go without water. We can go without sewer. Eventually it's going to cause us health issues, but we can't go without water. It's got to be replaced and it's got to be fixed. But we don't want to eat the whole elephant at one time. It's just small bites to get to where we need to be. And this is going to be an ongoing thing for the next 30, 40 years to get this replaced. Something comes up, you got to take care of it. You know, it's just like your home or your house, you know, your car. When it breaks, you got to fix it. We don't want anything to break. It's hard to budget when we're going to have a break, but when it comes up to keep services going, you've got to fix it. That's why you need the cash on hand, the extra in hand to take care of it. Comply with the state and have your little reserve fund, because there's going to be rainy days. That's just part of life.
Forgive me for asking a crazy question, but
No, there are no dumb questions.
so so how did you get involved? Why haven't you helped us before now till we got to this point?
Well,
I mean, does the board approach you, or was it something that you automatically do every so often? Like, how have you not came in to help us before now?
that's a good question. The Tennessee Board of Utility Regulations is a new board. It started in 2020, at the end of 2024. It is what used to be the Water, Wastewater Resource Board and the Water, what is it, that the two boards that combined into T-Board? The Water and Wastewater Resource Board and the
Utility finance.
yeah. So there are two boards came together
To combine.
to form one board, one regulatory agency. And so that is basically new. I did not learn about Ridgely until Ridgely came up in front of the board earlier this year for being in negative net deficiency for 2 straight years. The rule is if you're in negative net deficiency for 2 years, you come up in front of the board. So time had to pass before you came up in front of the board. The moment that you came up in front of the board, I came in. Believe me, I called Beth the moment before she even knew about it. I'm the one that told her.
Thank you.
Beth. Any other questions? Water and Wastewater Finance Board and the Water Regulation Board is what T-Board is. Is what T-Board became. T-Board has all the power. T-Board can merge this system with another system. T-Board can audit your system. They have all the power. They can take this system over. They have been given that authority from the state of Tennessee. Any other questions? Great question.
Robert, Mr. Don had a question.
Who's that?
Mr. Don, right behind you.
When I left, we had a grant money. Gibsonville had it, we had it. We were supposed to get $1,780,000.
Yeah.
Fix the lagoon, fix the water plant.
Yeah.
Do a project on the road.
Yep.
Now, where's that money now? Did it disappear? No.
Well, I can assure you,
That's why we all went on.
I only use the mic when I'm singing at church. I can assure you this.
Shane.
The money came from ARP.
Yeah.
The American Rescue Plan, right?
I don't know where it comes from.
That's where it came from. It came from the ARP, the American Rescue Plan. 2024, the Biden administration put out $2 billion. All water and wastewater systems in the country received money based on the Tennessee scorecard. In Tennessee, each water and wastewater system had to fill out a scorecard, which was a list of all of their deficiencies. Did they have a map? Did they have an asset management plan? Did they have this? Did they have an I&I? Did they have overflows? Things like that. It's a questionnaire, right? I don't know. You were probably there then. You would have filled out the scorecard. Okay? That money was delegated. The amount of money that you received was delegated by how you answered the scorecard. You had to spend the money on what was the deficiencies on the scorecard. So the money just didn't disappear. The money went into what was needed on the scorecard.
Mr. Robert, to answer Mr. Don's question, the money is here. Part of it was spent on the highway when we put the new sewer system in. The other part is raising the manholes going down Depot Street that was getting in Kaiser's Field. That's completed. Now they're out at the water plant rehabbing all the water. So the money's here. The money's not been stolen. The money's not been gone nowhere. The money's here, but we didn't get the money until we start spending.
I didn't say it was stolen, I just said I don't know if the money was still here or they had taken it back.
It's still here.
Okay, it's here. The money's here. It's being spent. We don't get it until we show the bills.
And that time is coming, right? This board is required to show those bills in 2027 to show everything they spent the money on. It's all regulated, every single cent of it. Any other questions? None being, so let's move on. This is the wastewater. The wastewater revenues in 2025 were $224,787. This is all of the expenses that the wastewater system occurred in 2025. Hey, guess what? The inflation rate ain't 3.3% anymore. Has anybody Googled that? Google it. It's 3.5. It basically went up overnight. Okay? Here are the rates, your old rates. $13.50 base rate, $4.11 volumetrically. And outside the city, there are 5 customers, I believe, at $16.05 volumetrically, $3.75. We had one option here. This is the system that really was neglected. We had one option, and that one option was to increase the rates 28%. That's where your rate increase really is. 28% increase. So we went from $13.50 to $27.54. Right? This is the base increase only. That's our option for the base increase only. Here's option B. We could have raised the rates, base fee, and volumetrically to make 28%. But we did the same thing we did with the water and broke it down into 14% each. $22 across the, or $22, 14%, $6.82 in town, 14%, to make 28%, equally and fairly across the board. There are only 2 rate structures when it comes to sewer. This was the easy one. The math was easy. Right? So that's the only way that we could have made that work. In doing so, we will have gained $1 104,000, or excuse me, 104% revenue gain over what we made last year as opposed to what we're going to make this year. That's how bad it was. It required that. Annually, we will gain $233,740, which will make $458,537 annually. Our operating ratio right now, before the rates went into effect, was a 0.63. There's only one reason why it was a 0.63, and that's because it was neglected by previous boards. There's no other way to say it. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. That's the fact of the matter. Economically, the past boards allowed that to happen. Who all reads their audits? Start reading your audits, because that would have never happened. This room should have been filled up years ago discussing this. Absolutely unequivocally. This is a dead system. This is dead. It's sitting out there right now dead. Still working, but dead. Look what it would have been in 2031. The state would have taken it over. Just like that. I turned this into the state. They saw it. They approved it. Right? To even make it work, to even obtain a 1.1 by 2031, we had to make a 28% increase, which, as you can see, from a 0.63 to a 1.29 in 2026, this system is going to make money hand over fist, and then gradually fall to a 1.1 by 2031. Math is proof. Math doesn't lie. This is where we are. I'll answer all your questions, but I'm going to do it honestly, and I'm going to do it fairly, and I'm going to do it to the point. This is what this board and past boards have allowed to occur. To you. It's not their fault, it's the past board's fault. Right?
She usually say no.
Well, math is provable. It doesn't lie.
They're taking over our lives. The state's taking over our lives, force us to do a lot of this.
Please let everyone hear.
The state is taking over our lives.
The state has no interest in taking over your life. The state's only interest is to make sure that you're paying a fair wage that's going to keep this system independent and healthy. Does everyone understand that? Can you look at this and see for yourself? Right?
In all the places that you've been, has the sewer rate ever been 121% of your water rate? That's what ours is.
Absolutely worse. Absolutely. I do this every day. I've raised rates 50%. You guys weren't that off. Go to Gates. You know, go up.
What you need to understand, without making anybody mad, the last 7 or 8 years, our mayor, and one was in for 2 years, the other one, Mr. Steve Jones, I don't know how many years on and off. You sat down there on the board and you voted anything without doing research, because where y'all can keep your position. We're the one that vote y'all in. Mayor Hamilton and the board we have now, they're trying to clean this mess up that some of y'all that's here tonight did create. And the people that cannot pay their bills, these senior citizens that live in on $800 or $900 a month, the ones of y'all that never cared to sit down and see what kind of shape Bridge was in, y'all should go help them pay their water bills. Now, he cannot change this. The board has voted on this, the state has approved it, so there's no need even discussing it. This is it, right here.
Thank you so much. Does anybody else have a comment or question? Please, I'll answer any question, but I want to give it to you straight.
How many years down the road? How many years down the road?
Your wastewater lagoon? You need help.
Yeah, a lot of places have already done away with it.
Yeah. Well, you're always going to have that lagoon, right? It needs rehab. The big thing is the pipes and the lift stations, right? The lagoon's good, man. The lagoon's good. All it needs to be, is some sludge need to be removed. You need to put some aeration in there, right? Maintenance, exactly right.
Mr. Robert, just to address that, we've been under a director's order since 2022 over our lagoon.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Right, so that's exactly, you hear what he said. A director's order. Does everybody know what a director's order is? No. A director's order occurs when a wastewater system has gone over their NPDES permit. They violated their permit, right? Every wastewater system has an NPDES, National Permit Detection System, right? It's what is the quality of effluent, your waste, that goes into the natural environment. It must meet safety standards for ammonia, for nitrogen, for potassium, right? When these things get into the river system, they kill aquatic life, plant life, right? It's bad news. It's bad stuff.
Yes, your lagoon down here, in previous mayor and board, y'all know this or should know this. When he signs his name, the mayor is representative of your town, sign off on this NPDES permit, which gives you the authority to discharge. You're gonna meet their limits. But at the bottom of this thing that I have signed every month for the last 40 years, you're signing, and if you're out, the state can come in and fine you $10,000 a day. They don't care whether it's Ridgely or Memphis.
Yeah.
If they choose to do that, I have worked with towns before that have gotten executive orders. You got one right up the road here, Newbern. Newbern's paying an $88,000 executive order. They've got to come up with a cap, a corrective action plan. They're getting ready to spend $3.4 million on an EQ basis. But that's how serious this wastewater is.
Yes.
On that. And wastewater, Newbern was under a moratorium back in the 90s when we got the contract to do work there. You could not even put a toilet, add on to your house and add another bathroom. That's how serious it was. Matter of fact, one of their employees lost their job because they wrote a permit for an addition for a bathroom, and they had two options. They was either gonna cough up, I forgot what the dollar amount was, or this guy was gonna lose his job over it. But that's how serious the wastewater is. And the state is really, they're in the same boat that you're in. If they don't have their stuff correct in Nashville about regulating you, that's when the EPA steps in. They're gonna hammer them. Then they're gonna turn around and hammer you twice as hard. So they've gotta do it. But your sewer system out here, with that being said, you know, it's got its problems right now. Hopefully, that we can get the effluent lift station replaced. We've got a solids issue. It's been out of compliance. And you've got to correct this. And like the director's order you got, I don't know how far that they went on it, but the worst thing you can do on a director's order is not have any communication. When you get that letter in the mail, you better take it seriously, and you better take care of business. Because throwing it in the trash or not responding to it, that just makes it 10 times worse.
It's bigger.
A director's order is because you are in violation of an Environmental Protection Agency regulation, and you have a certain period of time to rectify the situation. Like what Jim said, they will fine you until you do it. You will be fined into submission, basically. That's a director's order. You are in direct violation of an EPA federal regulation. Any other questions?
See, well, our sewage is different.
When the river gets up, it comes way up, it covers all them fields and everything else down there. Well, then that wastewater's running out everywhere. I mean, it's going everywhere. It's going more into, you know, way down south there. Yeah, it's overflow, yeah. The river will be come up to the road.
Yeah.
And it's just going out everywhere.
Right. So, probably what happens, what's in the works to happen is those berms are going to have to be raised to an elevation. I believe they're at 303 feet. They're going to have to be raised to 306 feet. So when the flood waters come in, it doesn't inundate the wastewater lagoon. And so you're not dumping $1 million, or excuse me, 1 million gallons of wastewater into the fields out there around there, right? So you're exactly right. You have to prepare for that flood, the 100-year flood, the 500-year flood. It just happened in South Gibson County, right?
Mr. Earl, we were also getting fined $4,500 as well with that director's order.
Yeah.
We are trying to get an aeration system put in it, but they're wanting us to raise the levees up.
Yes.
So, Mr. Jim and I have done some research, look back when the lagoon was built, and pretty much since the state signed off on it, we're going to try to get the state to help us with that money.
Yes. And we can do that. We can approach the state, and probably will approach the Clean Water States Revolving Fund, right, to get that done. But yes, the wastewater system, all of your assets have a life. And that life is not from the board. That life comes from the Environmental Protection Agency. How long should a pipe last before it has to be replaced? How long can a pump system last before it has to be replaced? They're at the end of their natural life, and they're going to have to be replaced soon. What was going on here, it would have never have happened, right? You wouldn't have had a wastewater system. You'd have been fined out of existence, right? A 0.63 is all the proof you need to know how unhealthy your system was. It's as simple as that. It didn't happen yesterday. It happened over a period of time. It's not something that just occurred just because somebody got elected. It's something that's been neglected. I'm 50 years old. That's how long it's been neglected. Right? Was the wastewater lagoon ever pumped when you were mayor? Ever sludge ever removed? Has the lagoon ever had sludge removal?
No, it wasn't done, so it was removed before. Not while I was here, but I mean, it was gonna be done, and that's what some of the money, the $1,700,000 some of that was gonna convert the lagoon. Because we had a fine of $22,500. Some agency out of Murfreesboro called me, and I said, look, we got the money to redo the lagoon, not patch it, completely fix it. I got out of that fine of $22,500. on now. It all at once just fell in. It still was being worked on when I left.
So I see that we're at 1.26 or so this year, and then in 31, or 30 or 31, whatever it is, it's down to 1.1.
Yeah,
I guess my question is, are you saying that at the new rate that we just adopted, that rate will stay the same at least until the 31? That's the projection?
Yes. And then your rates will only increase at the rate of inflation.
To keep it
Yes.
at 1 point.
Yes.
So we've got to get
Good understanding.
a little higher
Yes.
this year
Yes.
to balance out till the end of this 4 or 5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a great question and a great answer.
Because I think some people are probably thinking, yeah, 14% this year, 14%
No,
next
sir.
year, 14%.
No, sir. No. This is a one-time rate increase that will protect us till 2031. There's the math, right across, just like you said. Yes. Yep, that's where we are now. Next year, that's where we'll be. In 2026, that's where we'll be. Because they made the decision to do it. All I had to do was come in here once or twice and show the math, and that's all it took. It doesn't take Einstein to see where, you're sinking. You know what I mean?
But it's gonna stay right up from now on.
Yes, ma'am.
Then y'all have to worry it's going up that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that is a good, thank you for that question. It is not going to raise 28% every single year. It's a one-time increase to get us to the minimum. We will gradually fall to 2031, be at a 1.1. Any more questions? Any question? Any comment, any question? I'll answer any question. I'm going to do it real. I'm going to do it honestly. This is my third time here. I'll come and do it again. I don't mind doing it.
Thank God.
But
We good.
this should finish it.
They don't know they got your contact.
I do. I am very sympathetic. I am very sympathetic to you. I know I'm on a fixed budget too. I'm very sympathetic to you. My people are from Lake County. All my people are buried up there in Tiptonville. I know Lake County. I love Lake County. I want Ridgely to succeed. I want Ridgely to achieve sustainable prosperity. And at this rate, you are not achieving sustainable prosperity. Right? It's just as simple as that. You got my contact information. Any questions, any comments, anything you would like to discuss, please do not hesitate.
What did he say?
Thank you, Mr. Robert.
Yes.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, we'll move on to new business. We will admit number one, Ms. Shella Avery is not present tonight. She has to be taken off the agenda.
Thank you so much.
Number two, Mr. Donnie Mays, and water rates.
My grandmother, Blair, Uncle Jerry, my great-grandmother, and Al.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For those who don't know me, my name is Pastor Donnie Mays. I pastor the Chapel Baptist Church here in Richmond, Tennessee. And what I'm here for tonight, I gave you all
It's on.
It's on.
It's on. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay, I'll talk a little loud. Okay, I gave y'all a folder of what I'm talking about. You know, I came here to address one issue, and on the process, I involved another issue. You know, in that folder, you have the letter where I gave to the secretary to be on the agenda. That's on the first page, you know, of the folder. And then the next page, when I went to request a copy of the minutes, the lady was finna give it to me, and then that part from the back of the room that I got to do a request form. You know, and that's the copy of the request form. Second sheet is the copy of the request form. And then when you get the next sheet, when I called up there the next day to ask for it, they sent me a letter. And so the next sheet is the letter that I got, which let me know that it'll be ready 7 days later, which was the day of the board meeting, which I didn't get a letter saying that it was canceled since I was on the agenda. You know, and the next thing, the reason why we're here tonight, you know, it's about the water bill. And it's not about the rates being raised. If you notice on my request, and the next thing you got a petition with over 134 names signed from citizens of risk to address this issue. You can see the resident taxpayer dollars. The question is, it's not that the bill is going to go up on August 1st. The complaint is, how do we get a June bill that is dated June the 5th through July the 8th, and the rate affected that bill when it don't supposed to go into effect August the 1st, when it wasn't voted on until June the 18th. But we got an increase on a bill that was dated June the 5th through the 8th. And my question before this board is that we don't feel that it's right, you know, and we're requesting that there be a correction made to that deal, you know, that people be reimbursed it or credit, and not only that, but we need an explanation as to who authorized it. Was it the board? Was it the mayor? Or was it the secretary? You know, that applied the rate to a June bill to the increase that's supposed to be effective on August the 1st. You know, all that other stuff you talked about, you know, we heard that before. But the reason we hear it because we feel that we got an unjust increase in our bill before the time.
Mr. Robert, you'd like to address that when we talked about in our meeting? About why the bills went up on August 1st mail day?
No, that's not the question. We understand that it's going up August 1st. I ain't got a question about that.
I understand.
But who authorized for it to go up June 5th?
I was under the impression that there had been a 2% increase every year, right, for the past 4 years, right?
Right.
So you were getting the 2% increase in June. The rates went into effect on August, so you may have seen that 2% plus your 14%. That's quite possibly what happened.
Well, we don't think that's fair. If you expect the community to trust this board, you need to be honest to the people. I was here at the meeting on June 18th, and we know that the rates is in the minute effective August the 1st. You know, it wasn't nothing saying they're going back to June the 5th. All this other stuff is just smoke screen. You know, the issue is, how can we be raised for a month that wasn't even affected when you made the increase in the bill? You voted August 18th. My water bill went up in June the 5th.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I have a little bit of a better idea about what you're talking about. So, The end of the fiscal year is at the end of June. And so that rate would have went into effect at the end of June. Then on top of that, on August 1st, you got another increase. That's what happened. Right.
Now, what he's
See,
saying, our bill that we got for July was a lot higher. We had the new rates on the July bill, that's what everybody thought. People were paying $180 bills, $180
From
bills.
June the 5th to July 8th, that's what
Yeah.
we got increased.
Well, I haven't looked at that information. I don't know.
Shane, you have the stuff from the attorney and the comptroller that I emailed.
What turned into May?
You have the stuff from the attorney and the comptroller that I emailed to. They both, their opinion was that it was the August 1st bill and not the rate, not the date.
That's not what we voted on though. That's not what we voted on though. Because the ordinance, the resolution
Well,
said
that seems
effective
like that's
August
what
1st
happened.
rate.
Seems like that's exactly what happened. Seems like that's exactly what happened. There was a 2% increase on top
But
of
you
the
gotta go
increase
back
that took
on
place
the resolution.
in
The
August.
resolution said
Seems like that's what's
effective
happening.
rate August 1st.
That seems like it's what happened. You can look at her bill and see. You can look at her bill and see, you know, how it took place. Yeah.
I think that,
So the 2% increase that had been in effect, you got hit with in July. And then on top of that, on August 1st, you took a 14% increase. That's why.
August 1st hadn't come out yet.
first thing that,
We ain't got all the.
we already got a bill that dated June the 5th.
Yes.
You know, and that's the concern. You know, if that's what was gonna happen, it should have been explained to us on the front. You know, not to let the bill come out and try to make an excuse for it.
Okay, we will revert and look back. We just sent it to the comptroller and all, and they looked at it and approved everything. So we'll get back with them and figure out what's going on. That's no problem.
So the question is, who authorized that increase? Did you do it?
We voted on it as a board. I can't do anything without these
The board
6.5.
board authorized that the June the 5th bill be increased?
The comptroller.
No.
Y'all did?
No.
I didn't think so. And that's the bill that's increased, June the 5th through July the 8th.
But that was the bill that
And-
came
and-
out
and
the
the
1st
state-
of August.
Can,
That's the bill that come out 1st of August.
tell the city of Ridgewood what to do. You know, you
Yeah, they
represent
can.
Ridgewood, not the state, not these gentlemen, and we are the taxpayers. You know, and I'm not complaining about you going up on the rates. I'm complaining about you applying it full time. And I
We'll look
also-
into it and make it
okay. And I also want to complain about the way I was treated, just to get a copy of the minutes.
August 1st.
I know that the state of Tennessee passed a law of Public Record Act, but also in that law, there's 563 exceptions. And in that law, it called for each agency to write a Public Record Act policy to adopt it. It ain't got to be adopted, you know, don't just use it to benefit you, you know, because I have got
Shane.
a request before, you know, and I didn't have to wait and ask for my driver license.
So we're doing everything by the book. We can't say what went on in the past.
Okay, I let you know that, you know, I know the book. And not only that, but if I'm a citizen, why you send me 10 tax statements every year? If I don't live here, I get 10 property
I
tax.
understand that, but it also states in there that you gotta show proof of residency.
And
Okay.
I had a request from somebody
And I
other
want to
than
know how
you.
many other people did that outside of me.
What?
Thank you, Donnie.
Thanks, sir.
I think it is.
I mean, that's a legitimate question.
I'm just saying, I think that was.
If the water bills went into effect on August 1st, it looks like that change took effect a little bit early. Just judging, without looking at any data other than these bills here, looks like there might have been a billing error or
No,
something. So you might
I
want to
called,
look into
I
that.
called and emailed you about this when it first came up. And I told you, I asked you about it. I said, do we do it on the August 1st billing? And you said yes.
Yes.
You said, which August 1st billing was done on August the 1st. So
But
that's
this is for,
those are rates for prior to August, but I sent it to the comptroller after I talked to you.
Yeah.
The comptroller also agreed that we did it correctly and did
Oh,
the
okay.
attorney did.
okay.
Because it went with the billing, not the,
Bet.
because they're read on different days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
when are the bills read on?
That month's bill, the July's bill, the big bill on the rates.
We're gonna have to look at it, Mr. Brendan, and say, I mean,
I already did all the legwork.
Change our rates, we do not change the rates until we bill them for the month we change them.
we'll look into it.
Seems like
Ms. Laurie Myers?
I know.
We won't let know, she said.
Hello, Susie. I just want to say, I want to thank this government. I want to thank y'all for all you do, all the departments. I did put something down there. Y'all need me to use the microphone.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can hear you.
I did put something down there about issues on, or they said issues on our street, or my street. I was basically asked by you to go in the community to say something about, conditions on a few more streets. And since, that was about 2 weeks ago, and since then, the city has stepped up, and I believe cleaning all the sewers has made a major difference. I don't believe, I know it has. So I'm not here to complain, I'm here to thank you, and thank this gentleman for coming up here tonight, and
Yes.
thank all these public servants who are helping us, these young men. You may not see them out there doing what they do, but I can promise you, I have been right on them, and I watch to try to learn. And when they tell you, please call us, do keep calling them, because they are trying to do what needs to be done. Or I wouldn't be here to say this. So please trust in that. And again, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, ma'am.
You might have to ask Robert to take that man out in the hall.
Discussion resolution to apply for multi-modal access grant to install sidewalks and crosswalks in areas around the city.
Do you have to read it, Shane?
It's a no match.
It's no match.
Yes, it's a no-match grant.
I think it's a no-brainer.
We'll waive the reading.
And you've also got a map of what they're proposing back there to look at. No, he waived it.
Sorry, it gives us yellow.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, I love
Outline, potential sidewalk project.
And crosswalk.
Would those be quiet, please?
Everyone hold down, please.
That yellow line represents potential.
Yes.
And this is a no-match grant?
Yes.
There's no match to the city.
All right.
All about that.
You need a motion on this?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 081326-1.
And I second.
Motion by Mr. Michael Pierce, second by Ms. Denise. Roll call.
Bruce,
Yes, ma'am.
Michael Ford,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Trey.
Yes.
Fiscal year 2027 budget amendment resolution.
I will explain just a little bit of what happened on this. The 30-page, oh, y'all gonna make me talk on microphone?
Yeah. Where everybody can hear.
Okay, what this is, we submitted our budget, we passed it prior to June 30th. We submitted it to the state, and in the process of submitting it to the state, there's a formula on the first page of the ordinance that we actually read to pass that did not transfer over, and it left the word value on the ordinance instead of the actual figure, which was $53,000. So they sent this to me. The only time the state of Tennessee allows you to change your budget by resolution and not an ordinance is when they request it. And all that they're requesting is that we pass this, that word value was supposed to say $53,000. So that's all we're doing here.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion
Thank
to
you.
approve 081326-2.
Motion by Michael Ford, have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Renee, roll call.
Bruce,
Yes, ma'am.
Michael Pierce,
Yes.
Miss Denise,
Yes.
Trey.
Yes.
Chief Tubbs.
We don't have any updates other than we're 5 officers, we've lost 1 officer, and we're going to be
Mr. Daryl? David? Do you have any citizens? Yes, sir.
Brother Mayor, can we call for a point of order that these minutes be re-examined and make sure that the wording is what you expect it to be?
I didn't hear what you said, Donnie.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Could you call for a point of order that these minutes be re-examined by the board and make sure the wording is what it's intended to be?
The meeting, which meeting?
The meeting of the, he said, which meeting are you talking about, where we passed?
The June 18th.
June 18th?
Yeah,
Can I make a motion to reopen them up?
June 18th.
Do we have them here?
So we don't have them here with us, but we'll have to get them.
I make a motion that point of order be approved for the opening of the minutes of June 18th meeting.
I second it.
Second by Renee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Any,
Something about our water. It's been like this for a while. And I just wonder, would anybody really drink that?
I wouldn't like to, but if I was thirsty, I would. But with that being said, and I've done informed the mayor and the board, you are going through a major upgrade at the water plant. We're running off the 1 filter right now. And I've just got with Trey, we're gonna get out and we're gonna start flushing dead end lines. And the system's gonna be flushed at least once a year, the entire system. Preferably twice. But there's nothing, I am treating the water the best that I can right now because we've only got 1 filter in service. And we still gotta take it, when we put it online, we've gotta take the other one out and redo that, replace the media and stuff. The only thing that we can do at this point is if you call City Hall and let them know, I'll send my guy out with Johnny, or we'll go out and we'll flush. That's about the only thing we can do right now.
It was like it a couple weeks ago, and it got clear, and then today.
If you'll call, will help us out a lot. I don't know, I don't like wasting water, but I know we've got bad water out there right now on account of, we're running off 1 filter. But please call and let her know, she'll get a hold of us.
But you said bad water, yeah. Is it safe to drink?
It's safe to drink, it's meeting all
That's what I want to make sure.
yes, sir, it's meeting all the requirements, you're passing the VAT samples. We test your water every day, 7 days a week. There's certain parameters we test. And then over a 9-year cycle, you got things that you check every 3 years, every 5 years, every 6 years. Anywhere from lead and copper to trihalomethane, acetic acids and things like that. But it is safe to drink, but I do know that looks bad. But call, please call. I encourage you all to call, and if you are, we'll get out, we'll flush.
Okay.
We'll get her done.
But don't wash white clothes.
Yeah, hold off on your white clothes right now, because well, all it is iron. but we'll stay. So, thank you.
So my mom's not here tonight because she's got a really bad headache. So the other day, and I don't know if that was y'all or who, was flushing the sewer line. And
No, that
all of
was
a
not-
sudden, they were going to, I seen them like at lunch when I would come home. They're running through the, I don't know what they are, the lines, the road.
It was electrical.
And all of a sudden, she heard, and it started coming up out of her toilet.
They weren't even on their line when they done that,
And
so.
luckily, she was at home. It was awful.
I came home to a mess myself.
There's like a sinkhole right there by mom and her, like
Yeah.
the road sinking right there.
And we just discussed this, your collection, your sewer lines are in horrible shape, but things like that are gonna happen when, what they're going through now, they're cleaning all the lines so they get a camera down there and give you a picture of where the
Well, when you
point
said more
repairs are gonna
flushing, I
be.
thought, uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's water lines, not sewer
And
lines.
unfortunately, that's gonna happen with running a jetter up in the line. It just, sometimes it'll, you know, they do everything they can, they got a ball that they should be using, I assume that they are, to keep it from going up in a service staff. And it's big enough where it won't turn and go, stays in a straight line. But if you got a blockage on down the road, the water's gotta go somewhere, and sometimes it will shoot up in the holes.
It went all over her new walls.
True. I wouldn't have liked that.
If that happens, all you gotta do is go out there and stop them, they'll come in and clean it up
Yeah, she
themselves.
was hollering and he couldn't hear because that machine, and Daddy jumped on the golf cart and went, I was like, you gotta stop, you gotta stop.
Yeah, they offered to clean mine.
Yeah, I think they offered to clean it up, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Okay.
when you
Okay.
said flush it again, then he,
No, he's talking about flushing water lines.
yeah, you did say, I mean,
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I want to ask, probably to Daryl, the ditch on Walker Street, I noticed that on the north end of Walker Street, it's pretty clean, but in the middle, it's pretty bad. Can we get someone out there to clean the ditch and cut the grass? Thank you.
and I have to say, like, the last time it rained, you know how we flood out of Main Street? They came right out there and cleaned out that road thing, so I do appreciate y'all doing that.
They're trying, no
That
doubt.
ditch does catch everything, I guess from those fields and people throwing their trash out and stuff.
We've just got so much going on, we've got our hands in, everybody's helping everybody, each department, we've just got so much going on, it's hard to stay focused on one certain area, but we're getting there, it's just gonna take time.
Any other questions?
I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Since the past administrations have caused us to have to pay all this money out like this in such a shock, if the board we have now and the mayor, are we supposed to police y'all? How do we find out what y'all, if you come to the meeting, I know that you all.
Come to the meeting, you find out a whole lot.
Yeah, you find a whole lot, but like, we didn't know that they wasn't doing that, like to the water, you know, that it was gonna cost all those 6 months like this. We did not know it. So, I mean, we can look into that kind of stuff.
He said
We've got Mr. Robert coming back in 28 to do an assessment again, just to make sure we're staying on track.
Read your
Plus you
audit.
can, and you can go
I
on
mean,
the,
reading the
access the
audit is the
audit.
main
Yeah,
thing.
you can go on the comptroller's
And you can get it
website.
online. Yes,
You
ma'am.
can always
Still
call.
need to stop more water meter.
Near what?
A water meter needs to stop.
Okay,
Plan for it now.
They said they ordered.
he's on Hardison Street.
They ordered them, and then somebody said they were charging $35 a piece for them.
No. Now, if you literally tear it up, yeah, we're gonna charge, but no.
No, it's worth
It
it.
ain't been what
I'm just kidding.
It's not far.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
All right.
About 300 mile lane, the ditches, now we pay city and county, tax. The ditches look at me.
You talking about the ditches out there by your house?
Yes. They look at me.
There. Miss Missy out there on Mile Lane, the ditches out there, y'all been mowing them?
We've been doing the side mower, as we can reach down to the bottom of the side mower.
Boy, you might have jumped down there with a weed eater.
Pretty much it.
Okay. We'll look into it for you.
As soon as they get that brush cutter back on that median, I'm just go out there and I'm just stretch it down in that dig and ditch and mow them good.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Okay, as of right now, as World Trade has brought to our attention that we do not have a dog catcher, so animal control, we don't have at this point.
Does anybody want to volunteer?
Yeah, we're taking volunteers. Anybody else?
Dennis? That's all that was just.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
I second.
Motion by Michael Pierce, second by Mr. Neese to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all. Thank you.